Perceptions and stereotypes of Native Americans is really something that we're taught. And I think is really important as you kind of look through the PowerPoints is that you understand sarcasm because I use a lot of it in some of my lectures, whether I'm teaching the course live or whether it's online. You'll see that there are some things that I really try to kind of perpetuate as far as ideology. I think that stereotypes and perceptions are nothing that we really put out there as far as indigenous people, but it's something that people expect. So you become educated to the point where your expectations are such that Indians are this, or Native Americans are that, or tribes are this. And I'm going to use that word Indians back and forth because it's really it's embedded within our culture, and I think for understanding and purposes of understanding at least that we use that word as well as Native Americans. I think Native Americans is more of the sort of accepted terminology these days. But when you look at history, we have things that come up: Indian Removal Act, or Indians in sports, whatever it may be. So it's really important that you understand that we use those words back and forth. But these perceptions and stereotypes are really nothing that we put out there originally. We didn't go out and say we're one people, that the Eastern Indians, the Wabanakis, the people of the Dawn, the tribes that are here, are very much different than the Iroquois, who are more inland, west of the Great Lakes, I should say east of the Great Lakes, and a little bit west of the Great Lakes as well. And then the Western Indians, the Lakota, Dakota, Nakota tribes. Then you get all the way out to the northwest coast with the coastal Salish Kootenai. All very different people, let alone going into the middle part of the United States and then the south part of the United States all the way across. We're very different people. And not at any point in time in history did we go out and say we're the same people, we exist in the same realm, we speak the same language. That was never intended or our intentions. Instead, what it was a concerted effort by the U.S. government in order to put us all into one category, all these tribal nations, and therefore the citizenry, your parents, your grandparents, all have this expectation that Indians are Indians. We're supposed to look a certain way. We're supposed to dress a certain way. We're supposed to sing our songs a certain way. We're supposed to do ceremonies in a certain way, which couldn't be any further than the truth because we're very different people. I want to emphasize that as much as possible. We're very, very different people. And so, what do you think when you think of Indians? Headdresses, women that do certain work, certain roles. All Indians ride horses, that we used horses forever. Whatever these things are that you might have for preconceived notions, more than likely are untruth. And they were created by Hollywood, they were created by books, they were created by movies, TV shows, Cowboys and Indians. And it's how we're all supposed to be. And it's how we're all supposed to look. And it's how we're all supposed to dress. It's how we're all supposed to talk. It's how we're all supposed to carry ourselves. And again, it couldn't be further than the truth. So as you look at these perceptions and stereotypes, I hope that what you get out of it is that the sort of way of thinking all over the world about indigenous people of North America couldn't be further than the truth. That we laugh at these stereotypes, we laugh at these misperceptions, but then again, when we go to speak about them, we go to say, hey, that's not us. People say, oh, be quiet, that's who you are. That's what I learned. That's what I know. Therefore, that's who you are. And unfortunately, with that sort of positioning, we don't get to advance within the realm of the educational system. So instead, we find ourselves more defending who we are and expressing who we are as more productive than to try to say who we aren't. And people tend to listen a little bit more when we do that. So anyway, as you go through this perceptions and stereotypes PowerPoint, I hope that's the message you get.